Welcome to Africa. Those of you who are familiar with my work know how much I love this continent. Here is my studio, nestling on the side of a mountain in the Cape Peninsula, overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Once a year, I head off on safari into the African bush, into the remote and wild places. Travelling from South Africa into Namibia, we cross the Namib Desert, venture along the Skeleton Coast, head eastward through the vast Etosha Game Reserve and on into Botswana, enjoying the wonders of the Okavango Delta and the lush plains of the Chobe River. Briefly into Zimbabwe to visit Lake Kariba, then heading back through the Kalahari Desert and across the arid landscape of South Africa's Karoo, to return to Cape Town with sketchbooks full and a host of wonderful memories. To paint on safari, you need to travel light, so watercolour is the ideal medium. You don't need masses of colours or many brushes, just plenty of paper and lots of water, which is generally easily available. Often I just use 3 colours and 1 brush. Let me take you to the studio and show you what I mean. These sketches of elephants are painted using just 3 colours: Prussian blue, alizarin crimson and yellow ochre. Sometimes I may add a 4th colour, as in this head of a lioness, where I've used Prussian blue, yellow ochre and burnt sienna, and then a touch of sepia for the mouth, nose and eyes. But you don't even need 3 or 4 colours to enjoy painting wildlife. The shapes of animals in the bush are so distinctive that you can say a lot with just 1 colour and a few brushstrokes. A little sepia for the ostrich, 2 tones of sepia for the wildebeest, and burnt sienna for the giraffe. The shape of the giraffe is remarkable. The long flexed neck, the awkward stance, these can be caught quickly with a few brushstrokes. Choose a brush with a good point. Wet it, flick it, and check the point. And remember to prepare your colour before you begin. A lot of success in watercolour is about using the brush well. Mixing the correct solution of watercolour. Load your brush and twist it to retain its point as it leaves the palette. I prefer to just come in straight with the wash rather than using a pencil sketch. Once you've got familiar with the characters by using a pencil, it's then nicer just to come straight in with a wash. And giraffe, zebra, a lot of the herbivores stand in fairly static positions for enough time to just give yourself a quick sketch. And then go in with much neater colour and dab in the dots to get the patina, the familiar patina of the giraffe's markings. And there's some beautiful mane along the back. Just 1 colour, a few brushstrokes. Learning how wet or dry you want your paint is crucial. Look at this eagle. The dry brush mark breaks up over the tooth of the paper. Look at these cormorants. They're painted with a dry brush on a smoother surface paper, a knot surface. You need the tip of the sable to catch that cormorant's beak. You see how important it is to have that lovely tip, and then coming round using the body of the brush, pressing down, releasing the paint onto the paper to create the body of the cormorant, and then dragging it across the tooth of the paper. You see how it releases its lobe, but in a broken brushstroke, to create that lovely raggedy edge of the edge of the wing. Just lightly lifting the brush a little bit so that it creates a more broken brush stroke. And you can use the same dry brush stroke, take a bit of the colour off the brush, bring it down the tree to create the roughness of bark. With two colours, the scope is even greater. Look at these vultures. They're painted with Prussian blue and burnt sienna. See how the colours blend and merge together, how the blue runs into the brown and the brown into the blue. This jackal is painted with ultramarine and burnt sienna. And again, see how the colours blend. These graceful flamingos are painted with cadmium red and Prussian blue. Now look at them as they take to flight. Same two colours, Prussian blue, cadmium red, but look how the two colours blend to make the black of the wingtips. Let me show you how beautifully these two colours blend to make that black. Prepare your colours before you even start. A nice pool of cadmium red and another brush for your Prussian blue. And it's crucial the amount of water to pigment, because you want to make sure the colours don't run too much, but just the right amount. Now I'm going to paint first of all the red into the wing, all the way down. Beautifully strong, because that red under that wing is really strong. And then into that, put the cold Prussian blue, which as it mixes with the red, turns to black, because the green in the Prussian blue is the opposite colour to the red. Same with the other wing, red all the way, and then the Prussian blue, get that nice wingtip. Now you can take the colour off your brush and just use a little bit of that Prussian blue where this body's in shadow. A little bit of the red. Coming up the neckline, take it right off, it's really pale. Into the head, much more pinky in the head. And again down into the beak, because where the two colours meet, there you will get the black of the beak. Could be more intense, just off a bit more dark colour into your wet wash. You need drier colour for the legs, so take the colour off on your kitchen roll and bring it down the leg, and try and do it in one quite swift movement so you get the brush stroke. Little knuckle on the knee, creating a nice edge of the foot. Always use that lovely edge of the brush stroke. And as there's no background here, we just need to bring out the edge of this bird where the shadow would just catch under the wing there, leaving the light on the top of his fine body. Clean all the colour off your brush, just catch the whiter top of the head and down the neck there. See how simple it is? Just two colours and you get such a wide range. Once you have three colours, any red, yellow or blue, you have a whole range of colour available. In these paintings of elephants done back in the studio, I've used just three colours: ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson and yellow ochre. See how the colours blend and overlap to make greens, mauves, oranges. And the three colours together make excellent greys and intense darks.